Node 3464272 connected to Node 564560.
Testing WAU 7N. Testing WAU 7N.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We transmit on 70 centimeters to a crossband repeater. On Cougar Mountain, it spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about our group, please Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on, a little bit of history about our group, and also you'll find a link to YouTube where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we simulcast our audio on our 2-meter repeater, WW7ATS 147.08 with a tone of 103.5. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before the net gets fully underway. This is Dave, K7ZYM. Hearing none, again, welcome to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So far, checked into the net this evening is Ron, KD7QKU, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Jim, N7QO, James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is anybody else wishing to check into the net? Hearing none, we'll start off the net tonight with Ron, KD7
This is Ron, KD7QKU in North Tacoma. Another beautiful day. Oh my. I had to mute my Discord. Looked like we might have a small group tonight. Bob, when you were on, I didn't hear any audio from you. I heard you, James. You came in fine. So I think everybody probably knows now that we're going to sell our house and we're going to move into a retirement community over here, real close. Condominium, 1,200 square foot condominium in a 5-story building, and we'll be on the 4th floor. And I will have a north and east view. I'm hoping I can get into the repeater, but time will tell. So let's see. Yesterday I put a disconnect switch in the Corvette to disconnect the battery. I'm going to probably have to store it. So I've been trying to find a storage 10 by 20, storage unit that I can keep it in close by. So far I haven't had any luck. I put my name on the waiting list on the closest one, which is only half a dozen blocks away. It would be real handy. So they have 15 units, they said, but they're full. And she said they usually get a 10-day notice when people are going to move, and no one's give the notice. So I'm hoping in a month or two somebody will vacate one and I can get the Corvette in. I think we're going to move probably on the 14th of, what would it be, May, I guess. Time's flying. It isn't firmed up. We've had the real estate came in, and Josh, he sold our house in Bellevue, and then they found this house for us, and they sold Joanne's friend that died, her condominium. Really nice. They're John L. Scott, really nice people. So the family's coming on Saturday to take some of the things if they want something. And my son Mike is coming, and his wife Stephanie, and he's taken all my tools and welders, and he's going to take our freezer, and he's going to take the gun safe, Bob, and all my guns. And then, of course, I got all the fishing stuff and the boat. I've still got a 12-foot. He's going to take the boat and all that stuff. So I don't know when exactly. And I started taking my radios. I better let it drop. I started taking my radio stuff down. So tomorrow I'm going to take down the amateur television, so I won't be on amateur television anymore for a few months. If I can, I'm going to pack it up and get it ready to move. I had a 2-meter, 70-centimeter radio in what we call the den, and then I had one in the kitchen. I packed those up. I got to take my radio out of the pickup because I'm going to sell the pickup. Well, I guess that's enough for now. So I'll turn it back to Net. I'll forget what I haven't told you or what I have told you. So back to Net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ, hanging out in Oak Harbor.
Okay, there we go. Okay. The slideshow is not working. I'm trying to do a slideshow. It didn't show up on my own picture, and I now see it's not showing up on the net either. Hopefully, I'm not echoing. When I tested earlier, I heard an echo on my own voice. And I have obviously I'm using a headphone, so it's not feeding back through any speaker here. But Hopefully it sounds fine. Well, that's too bad on the slideshow. I might switch to OBS and see if I can make that work, because I went out in this beautiful day today. I went down to Joseph Whidbey State Park, which is all of 7 minutes away from where I live. And boy, I'm going to be going there a lot, I think, because it's so easy and so quick. And you're right down at the salt water. There are birds there. I saw a Navy helicopter fly over pretty close and got a picture of that and a couple of pictures of that. I got a few pictures of some of the I've forgotten what they call the jets, but the jets that they have there at the naval base. And I did get some nature as well as some birds. I thought I saw a seal when I first got there. There was something out in the water. It was black and it looked like it had a somewhat seal-like head. And then I saw what looked like the back as it was starting to move, and then it went underwater. And I sat there and watched and watched and watched and watched. I had a good wide view of the strait, of the off the coast of Whidbey Island there. And I never saw it come up again. So it's possible it was a whale of some kind. It wasn't a killer whale. There was no big dorsal fin or anything. But I've never known a seal or a sea lion to stay submerged that long. It would have had to have gone a very, very long way to get out of my area of view. But who knows? Maybe that's what happened. Okay. I'll send it back.
And for ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. And for Bob's information, great video and great audio. No echoing on your audio. It came through fine on 2 meters. No problem with that. And talking about 2 meters, let's go to Richard on 2 meters. K7IX.
Okay, yeah. Real good report, just like Dave said, Bob. And maybe a little bit of echo towards the end of your transmission, but very little. And same with you, Dave. Very little echoing, but able to hear you guys just fine. And Bob, I think what you were thinking of as far as the jet airplane maybe that you got a picture of was the A-10 Growler. Those are a jet airplane of choice at Oak Harbor, the Growler. So, and yeah, there are these native whales. They're harbor whales. They're really a porpoise of sorts. I wonder if that's maybe what you saw. And so anyway, and then Ron, yeah, pretty exciting stuff. You might check let's see, in University Place, right, just a block or half a block west of 40th and Bridgeport on 40th. There's a pretty good sized storage place over there. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So let me let it drop. Yeah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a beautiful day. Oh my God. Oh my God. was just fantastic. Um, I'm audio only tonight. I did real good, I thought, with audio and video Saturday, and that's mainly because I had my hands free here at the Northwest Kidney Center. I've just got one hand, so I'm really strapped for versatility, if you get what I mean. But so yeah, and Saturday, the weekend, that's always a better time for me anyway. Hopefully this Saturday I'll feel pretty good after my Friday's dialysis session. It's always kind of a crapshoot, but I think I might have it figured out how to avoid the struggling hangover. So, enough of that. I'd kind of like to hear what everybody else has to say. With that, K7ITX, back to Net Control.
K7ITX, thanks with that. Well, let's pick up Jim in Covington, N7QO on 2 meters. And once again, we're trying for N7QO Jim in Covington. No response on N7QO. So let's go to Northeast Bellevue to James, WU7N.
Thank you, Dave. Let's see how long it takes to synchronize right from now. Two, three, four. WU7 November. Testing. Okay. Looks like I am on the air. I got a call sign there. And okay, so that was less than 10 seconds, although I'm now frozen on my screen and seem to be jittering between frozen and the streaming.watts.net website. Well, Ron, big changes. Lots of big things happening there. Wish you the best of luck and all that. And you're about only the storage locations are at a premium. Okay, so I've got a. Not sure what happened just now. Okay. Anyway, back on the air. Bob, no excellent on the both streaming side and on 2 meters. And it sounds like you have a wonderful shot there at the state park. All I can tell you about the SEALs is, they're highly trained military operators that are designed to be invisible. So maybe you just wasn't thinking or something. Well, let's see. Also, Richard, very good audio tonight, and glad you can join us. As always, I know what it's like to have only one hand in a hospital bed. That is really annoying. So we're glad to take you on 2 meters in any way you can do it. Today it was a beautiful day. I used a pretty good hunk of the day to do pressure washing. I borrowed an electric pressure washer that I thought would be powerful enough to do clean off cement. It's certainly a little better than my electric, which I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with my electric because it has no fit.
It just isn't working there, so let's get rid of that. Testing. Dave, do you hear me now? Dave, can you hear me? Do you copy?
I copy. You're coming through fine on 2 meters, but the audio coming across from the digital is kind of motorboating on you.
Okay, well, I don't know how much of that what you heard, so let me just pass it back to you. And this is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Go ahead, Dave.
WU7N, thanks with that. And I get a quick ID, which you almost did already. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, for me today, boy, it was beautiful out there. I got to go for a little bit of a walk in the neighborhood. However, all the trees out there doing their matings in their mating season really got to me with the pollen. So, boy, when I got back inside, my nose was pretty plugged up for the rest of the afternoon, even when taking antihistamines. So that was a surprise that there was that much pollen in the air. But that's what I did today and did get out. That was the best part of the day, but been inside doing some chores. So I figured if the pollen's out, inside there's no pollen, hopefully. So that's what I've been doing. So this is Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
The Big Mover.
The Big Mover.
Okay, here we go again. Ron, KD7QKU. Yeah, James, 2 meters you were fine, but when you were 2 meters only, but other than that it was... Yeah, it's really nice, Bob, that you live close to the water. You can go to the park. That's really nice. So we're really close to the water where we live now, and we're only going to be, half a mile further away than we are now when we move. Maybe I said this, I can't remember. I taken the 2 TV sets down that were on the patio. So we had a covered, glassed-in sort of patio. I could sit out there when the weather's nice and watch 2 baseball games at the same time or watch something else in a baseball game. But anyway, taking the TV sets down, I've taken them to Value Village. I also taken some other stuff. I taken my cowboy boots. Oh my. I hated to give up my cowboy boots. I had a beautiful pair of boots. I got them in Montana. I was trying to think the last time I wore them. I wore them to my grandson's wedding over in Auburn when he got married. I think that was probably 12 or 15 years ago. But anyway, they're at Value Village now. Someone else will be wearing them. Last night, there's a new young couple that bought the house next to us on the west side of us. And we had them over a while back, and they're real nice. And so I went over, and he was saying he was going to get a lawnmower. He doesn't have a lawnmower. And I told him, don't get a lawnmower yet. Talk to me before you get one. So I went over last night, rang his doorbell, and his name is Cameron. I said, Cameron, I want to give you my lawnmower. So I had a really nice Toro, rotary, self-propelled. Hadn't been used for a long time, but I think a little starting fluid. And then Caitlin, his wife, came with him, and so I said, "What else do you want?" I said, "What are you going to do with your wheelbarrow? I have a big construction wheelbarrow." I said, "It's yours." So then he wanted ladders, so like extension ladders and stuff. But then we put the extension ladder over the fence. But then I decided I got to use it. I said, "Let's leave it so I can get it." I want to get Wade to come and help me in the near future take down my antennas, and I want to give them to him because I'm not going to be using them. And so they went in the lawnmower shed, take the fertilizer spreader. I had a really nice new Whirlybird small fertilizer ortho, and then a lot of tools, shovels, rakes, hedge trimmers. So all my power tools were, battery operated. They were Ryobi, and so he was sure he had batteries that would work, that would fit him. So I didn't want to give him my battery because I have a blower and a vacuum cleaner and drill and stuff that uses the Ryobi battery. So I kind of didn't want to give him the battery. So he said no problem. He thought it for sure he had batteries. So, and then I have a big generator in there, 6500 or 8500. It's an Onan, and he saw that. He said, "What are you going to do with the generator?" And I said, "Well, it's going to go." But I said, I think I mentioned it maybe to Wade. So I'll have to see if Wade wants it. But I said if he doesn't want it, and like I say, the family's coming this weekend. I don't know if anybody in the family will want it. Mike has two big generators. He just bought another one, a 10,000 watt or something. Let me let it drop. So like I say, we're surely but getting rid of stuff. So they said don't have a sale. It's just a hassle, and people don't give you anything. Just give it to Habitat, for Humanity, or Value Village, or your neighbors or something. So I have a really nice barbecue, stainless steel, small. No one seems to want that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Maybe if I put it out by the street and say free, somebody will haul it away. So I guess that's it for now. Like I say, I'm going to take my TV station down tomorrow, so I won't be on TV anymore for a while. I do have streaming, and I have Discord. We'll see, maybe Wade, and he can get me hooked up here some other way. All right, back to net, KD7QKU.
K87QKU, thanks with that. Let's pick up Bob, K9PQ in Oak Harbor. Great pictures, Bob. Unfortunately, not getting any audio. Well, welcome back to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. We seem to lost the feed from Bob, K9PQ. So let's move on to 2 meters to Richard, K7ITX.
Yeah, Bob, yeah, those were really great pictures. You might do what I did on Saturday is I did a simulcast. I did 2 meters with my base station, and then I used one of the Windows app that Carlos has put together for my my video, and that seemed to work out just perfect. So, and then Ron, God, if I was only about 25 years younger, I would have been at your garage door just like your neighbor. Man, sounds like he's really doing well. But I'm not 25 years younger. I'm 25 years older, and I don't have room for anything. And I'm going to be like you, down the road. Well, I am already like you. I've got a skill saw, sander, that kind of stuff. That my wife is just tearing her hair out, trying to get me to get rid of it. So, yeah, well, that's how it goes. Yeah. And James, I'm looking forward to hearing from you a little bit more. The motorboating, I was still able to decipher what you're having to say, but just like I haven't been able to get the audio to work with my software from Carlos, but then I haven't given Carlos enough feedback either. So, Carlos, I know you're listening, so my apologies. But I'm used to doing the simulcast. Back from the old Grand Stream days. That's the only way I could get on. My base station and the Grand Stream unit. So, but it's all new. We'll get it all worked out. Anyway, I'll pass it on. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks with that. Let's go to James WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
WU7N with uniform 7N. Okay. I lowered my bit rate, so I'm going to listen on streaming and see if I get motorboating. Not hearing any motorboating so far. Although the audio does sound a little bit odd. Anyway, let's see. I was trying to say last time, Ron, good luck on the big changes. And Bob, you didn't have any echoes, and it's great you're close to a state park. Richard, excellent audio, so that was all good. I have a little box here I'm going to try and show everybody. I don't know if I can do this or not, but trying. Okay, so this doesn't work anymore. Okay. All right, so trying to flip the camera around, and I guess this app doesn't do that. Well, there's a big, huge picture of me. So I can try and flip it around like this, but this doesn't really work very well, but we'll do what we can here with it. I've got this little GPS. It's a GPS disciplined oscillator, and I thought I'd throw it out to the group before I search the web. In the lower left, you can see a load and a save button, and a plus and a minus. And what this thing is supposed to do is just put out 10 megahertz of sine wave, which you should be able to see up on the front panel there. There it is. There's a sine wave output. If you turn it around, there's on the back. Let's see, you've got the power input, and then an on-off switch, and then also puts out a 10-wave square wave. Pulse, I'm assuming PPS means pulse per second, from the GPS satellite disciplined oscillator, and of course it's got to have a GPS satellite that comes into it. So anyway, that's my question for the group. If anybody knows what those buttons do, the plus minus and the load save, which it's interesting, the same button as label both load and save. Always interested. Now I got it. Plus minus and load save, which it's interesting, the same button as label both load and save. Always interested myself. Now I got it.
Outside of that, it was clear whatever you did. It gave you the best audio we've heard so far this evening. So with that, let's go to Carlos, 87NP in Clyde Hill.
All right. Hello, good evening. Let's switch cameras around. Okay, I think this is the right one. I'm going with the preferred approach for everyone, which is video on the DVB and 2-meter audio. Sorry that I was late. I was on the roof replacing, doing some antenna work. I was replacing a 1.2 gigahertz antenna that was not working correctly, and I added a 5.7 gigs antenna directional, because this weekend is the Sprint microwave from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it's at 902 megahertz and above. And there's some colleagues around that are getting ready for that transmission. I had a good copy from Rob. James, much better when you lowered the bit rate, so maybe there's an issue about networking, and maybe that was the issue also with Bob. I don't think maybe there's not a sustain for the high bit rate, and you might have to go to 720p or 480p on the transmission. And regarding Ron setting down the station, well, hopefully we can definitely make it all work with your iPad, so we should give it a try next time. And in terms of news, besides and I also replaced my 900 megahertz antenna, and I put 222 megahertz on a different rotator. So a lot of work and didn't finish in time. The other one that I wanted to show you all is on making progress on my solar cooker setup. So this is the ring that is for which the dish will be attached to. It's almost like a hula loop. I could try that, but I'll save you the effort. And there is this new service. It's available in the U.S. Just a minute. Time out. I'll be back. And I'm back. So there's this new service called Send Cut Send. And so you can design on the computer the part. This is aluminum. And it's basically 5 millimeter depth. And the idea is that this part will attach to the rotator, and then this circle will attach to the dish, and making it a strong attachment. The interesting perspective is that in order to get to this design of this part, this was again an AI dialogue, kind of dialoguing with one of the AI chatbots, describing the problem and reaching an agreement about what would be the best part to go and do this. So there's the news of the week. So sending it back to Dave, Net Control from 87 NP in Clyde Hill.
87 NP, thanks with that. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. And get a quick ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. And, boy, like I said, it was beautiful weather. And for Carlos, boy, can't have better weather to get up to work on your roof to do with antennas. I think the gods are with you to go up there to be able to do that and not have to worry about overcast or rain and alignment of your antennas. So that's a great thing. So, and we'll hopefully get Bob back here pretty soon, and maybe we'll get a little better audio feed from him. But outside of that, I'm going to move it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Hey, this is Ron. Good evening, Carlos. It's nice to see you. It looks like you're coming right along on that project. That's a beautiful hoop and nicely designed everything. It's going to be all aluminum. That'll be nice. I think it's going to be all aluminum. I don't have too much more. Small group tonight. Like I say, I'm going to have, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6, I don't know, 2 meter, 70 centimeter radios. I'm going to give Wade 1 HF. It's kind of all mode, has 10 meters, 6 meters on it. And then I'm probably going to give him a couple of 2 meter, 70 centimeter. So when I can get him to help me, and we get the coax pulled out, I'm going to give him all the coax too. So that's about it, I guess. I'm just sort of, spinning my wheels here. I hate to sit around doing nothing when there's so much to do. We are going to have a lot of it done for us, but it's going to be looks like a couple of weeks away. That's frustrating. I'm a guy that likes to move forward. I don't like to stand around. So anyway, I just have to grin and bear it, I guess. All right, back to that KD7QKU.
QKU. Thanks with that. Well, let's pick up Bob, K9PQ again, up in Oak Harbor.
Okay, I see my call sign up there, and we'll get the video up. And hopefully you hear me this time. I didn't have my audio set correctly when I switched from the app to OBS. So I might be a little low. I'm gonna see if I can bring it up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It was low with a different app I was using too. It might be a little low. Hopefully you hear me okay. Yeah, so these slides are from my trip out to the park, as I mentioned when you heard me the first time, but didn't see the slides. This is a red-winged blackbird. That's what that little guy is there, and then the growler. Thank you, Richard. That's exactly right. That helicopter came by pretty close, not nearly as close as it appears, because I was using a very long telephoto lens, including for this barge and tugboat too. It was across the water. Yeah, as far as the birds go, just some basic, simple, everyday crow, seagull. The bald eagle, oddly enough, I saw a bald eagle a few days ago down here at this park. But the picture of the bald eagle that's going to come up here that you'll see up against the blue sky, I took that from the parking lot of my own condo right there. And so he was just flying right overhead, and that was pretty fun. Well, let's see. As to respond, Ron, wow, that's huge news, and I can only imagine the amount of work involved. And it's smart of you to be giving things away already and not waiting till the last minute. That's really good. That'll be nice to have a patio. That's one thing I miss here. I had my deck there at the last condo, and I really don't have any outdoor space except for there's a very small covered space in the front, right at the front door, which sounds really nice because my front door faces the front doors on the other side, and we just have a walkway in between, so there are no cars or anything there. No, but nobody actually sits outside, even when it's nice. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. James, no idea about those buttons on the 10 megahertz. I can't imagine what it would be, unless it allows you to change, to change the frequency. But kind of, goes against the whole idea of the GPS discipline 10 megahertz. So I have no clue on that. I'll be interested to hear what you find out. And Carlos, that was the best excuse you could possibly have for being late for the net, that you were doing antenna work for your ham radio dish antenna. And I just think that's the coolest thing, that you're able to design parts that way. I've got a friend that is doing that as well, although I don't think he's using AI to design the parts. But he likes to do little projects, and he has there are a lot of cottage industry opportunities out there to get somebody to do the parts like that for you. Ron, yeah, being without the video, you might have Wade set you up with the app. It's once it's all installed and set up to go, it's really quite easy to use, and I highly recommend it. Yeah, I think that's what I've got for now. So I will send it on back. Okay.
K9PQ, thanks with that. Well, let's pick up Richard again on 2 meters, K7ITX.
Okay, well, yeah, Bob, this last report, I would say, was picture perfect. So yeah, and that was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for taking those pictures and setting up your slideshow. It was just excellent.
I'll get a quick idea, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave.
Yeah, Ron, I can imagine.
Let's see if we can pick up Richard, K7 ITX on 2 meters.
That's not a lot of fun at all. And Carlos, boy, you're bringing back some old memories for me. You know, that's what I did as a project manager, engineering in construction was all these oddball parts, things that people could never imagine. You know, what my people would need out in the field, and I was always drawing things up. I used a program called AutoCAD, and then we had a CNC machine out in the shop, or sometimes if we didn't use the CNC, the guys would just go to work with it with all the different machines, brake metal and shearing operation, and all that kind of good stuff. I wish I could say I miss doing that, but no, I don't. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of pressure, and I was glad to just kind of leave it behind me. I made a reasonable living at it, and now I'm on to bigger and better things. My health has got the priority now. So, anyway, what a great net tonight. It's been a lot of fun. And I'll say 73 to everybody. This is K7ITX. Back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks with that. And let's go to James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Okay, Dave. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. I'm going to go straight 2 meters this time, since this is probably my 73 round. Bob, thank you very much for your comments on the 10 megahertz GPS disciplined oscillator. I was about ready to hit AI and the ever-helpful internet in general to see if I could find out what people are saying about this. I, too, am figuring that the plus-minus must be something about I think there's some sort of little microcontroller or microprocessor inside of these things. And maybe it starts at 10 megahertz and disciplines that 10 megahertz oscillator, but maybe the microcontroller or something can give you other frequencies depending on whether you push the up or down button or something like that. The load and save being the same button, that's a bit of a mystery. Maybe you push it once to load it and then push and hold it to save it. I don't know. I haven't even powered it up yet. I have powered up my little spectrum analyzer, and I must say I'm pretty impressed with that. It's got a pretty fast scan rate, and frankly, works better than I thought it would. So anyway, well, let's see. What else is going on here in my life? It's just been a lot of, seems like deadlines, all kinds of deadlines. The reason I had to pressure wash today was because they're going to be mulching, and you can't pressure wash, or somehow those two activities interfere with each other. It really wasn't clear to me. So anyway, I did get the pressure washing done with a WIMP electric sprayer. It was sort of like doing it with a toothbrush, but once you get started and you're all icky and coated with garbage, you just don't want to stop, so I just continued on. Next year for sure it'll be a gas-powered one. If I have to rent one, buy one, borrow one, whatever, I'm going to have a real pressure washer to do my sidewalk and driveway next year. So anyway, good net tonight. Sorry I've only been half participating with the technical difficulties, but I've been listening to what other people have to say. And Carlos, you're quite an inspiration. I think it's just fantastic all you do, and thank you very much. And I don't know if Wade's listening or not, but you too, and maybe Rob's listening out there too, and maybe even Rich. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Back to our net control, Dave.
WU7N, thanks with that. Yeah, let's pick up Carlos again, 87NP in Clyde Hill.
Node 564560 disconnected.
Go.